Linda Nicky. Welcome to Talk and Tap with Linda. I wanted to address a couple of things before I start doing a tap with you. The first thing is that I've had some text and some emails and phone calls with people asking me if I could give a little bit of a description about cortisol and what role it plays in our anxiety, in our overload, in our stress. I'm happy to do that. The cortisol is the part of the body when we have to elevate it, that in the flight or fright mode, which many of you have heard about, it's that we are in that flight mode and our cortisol level goes way up because it is thinking in our head as though a lion or a bear might be chasing us and we need our energy to get away from that critter. And of course, we keep ourselves sometimes in that particular flight mode for days, weeks, some people for years, having a very heavy, stressful life where they feel like they're in overwhelm all the time. And what happens when our cortisol level is so elevated that it causes our immune system to break down, we retain belly fat, our focus is not as good, our decision-making capabilities suffer, and it's got a foggy brain, if you use that expression or have heard it. And what happens is that in our brain, and when we're in a flight mode, we're actually draining the blood from our brain to go into our limbs to help us escape from this animal that may be chasing us. And even though it's not a real animal, our body and mind do not know the difference between reality and what's going on in our head with that thought. So that's the cortisol. And there's a lot of studies that have been done. Like when the cortisol level is high and they do a saliva test, it will show elevated, very elevated. And after people tap for as little as, can be 3 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it depends on the individual, it brings that cortisol level way down. There have also been many tests done through the blood and a lab test, and it will show the cortisol when one is in that flight mode, that we have our, just in that cell, their blood is just broken down and all scattered and looks really disconnected from each other. After the tapping, they do the blood test again, and then it seems that those cells in our body, that they're tighter, closer together, more contained. And there's lots of studies on this. I'm just going to mention Nick Orthner. Actually, his book is behind me. I don't know if we can see it or not. But at any rate, if you Google Nick Orthner, he has a documentary on tapping. And if you have an interest in tapping beyond what I'm talking with you about, I'm self-studied too. I've been doing it a year and a half. I've done online classes and training, and every day I study, and I'm learning more all the time. And I'm just passing that on. I think if I know something that's helpful, then I really am interested in passing it on. So you know it too. It's just a tool in your toolbox, something you can use anytime, and you can use it anywhere, and you can do it for a minute, you can do it for 10 minutes, and it's like doing meditation. Some people can't sit still for 10 minutes. I have difficulty with that. To meditate and quiet their mind, quiet their thoughts. And this is an example of another way to do it, which you can do very quickly. So now I'm going to actually tap with you, and please send me questions, comments. Thank you for viewing my YouTube so far. I appreciate that very much. And just let me know if you have further questions or if I can help you in some way. So we're going to tap today on anxiety, which can be anxious, nervous, overwhelmed. There's many forms. It can also be in the form of pain, a headache, neck ache, or backache. So you choose your anxiousness for whatever that is today and tap to that. And I'm going to tap like kind of a general tap on anxiety. So let's just go to the karate chop. As you may recall, this is the place we start. And even though I am dealing with this anxiety and this feeling of nervousness and apprehension, I completely and totally love, accept, and forgive myself. We say this 2 more times. Even though I'm dealing with this apprehension, this anxiety, this nervousness, this feeling of overwhelm, I completely and totally love and accept myself. Even though I'm dealing with this anxiety, this tension, this overwhelm, this feeling of nervousness, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. Now we're going to go to the tapping points to, it's like we're going to do the phrase over again. And you might recall these locations. You can follow me. The first one, we'll tap right inside the eye. Whew, this anxiety, be sure to breathe. This feeling of nervousness. I feel so anxious. My mind is just not able to be clear. I feel overwhelmed. It seems so hard to make a decision. I simply feel like I cannot keep my thoughts straight. Under the arm, oh, this anxiety, this anxiousness, this nervousness. My body is just on overwhelm, and I want to release this feeling. Doing it again. This anxiety, it's too much. It's causing me to not have a quality of life. I feel like I can't make decisions. This stress. All this tension is actually giving me a headache. It's giving me aches in my body. Just locate with me. Where do you feel right now your anxiousness, your overwhelm, your nervousness, your whatever it is you're feeling? Where in your body are you holding that? And just focus and breathe on that location. Under your arm again, this overwhelm. And now we're going to start around on just instilling a few new thoughts. I know that I have more control over these feelings than I'm giving myself credit for. I can relax. I can breathe in, breathe out. I can find a way to do just one thing at a time. And I forgive myself for those times when I've made a mistake. I didn't know what I was doing at that time. Now you've changed it, so just forgive yourself. You don't have to carry that burden. So just release that and let it go. Just let all of that tension in your body go. And just appreciate that you have this quiet time and you're taking good care of yourself, and this is what you need to be doing. So continue to breathe and release, and we're tapping on the meridians to just send a signal to the brain that it's okay to be calm. It's okay to be at peace. Just do the very best you can right now. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything right. You don't have to do all 10 projects at one time. Let those thoughts go and simply relax into breathing. It feels really good. It's kind of like reactivating your nervous system when you breathe in slowly and let it out with a puff. Anyway, just hang in there. Keep yourself tapping on these spots. Calm yourself. Know that there's peace available to you. And you can do this as often as you like. You can do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can do it 3 times a day. Just know that you can release some of that anxiety or stress, that headache, whatever you're going on. Just allow your body to release that in your body, your mind, and your spirit. Inhale, exhale. Thank you.